Okay, guys, that was Abracadabra. If you heard it, then you know. But yeah, Abracadabra is really a good track and everything. And like I said, Abracadabra just means I will create as I speak, and that's a part of the theme of Magic too. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts?
It's definitely a joint that it really would put you in the mind frame of, you know, this is not something that just finna, you just about to listen to and it's just gonna be brushed under the rug. This is something about to be talked about for years to come. It's definitely an album that the song and the album is definitely an album that it's made in the realm of it being also played with a newer artist music, also being played with whoever's the hottest out right now, even though the author of this album has been rapping for 3 decades. This music is played in the same vein as 2023 music. You know what I mean? So it's like it's almost it's almost undefeated to a certain degree that an artist could drop an album like this and to be rapping for so long and for it to connect in such a deep level is almost like it's mind blowing to a certain degree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Abracadabra on that.
Yes, yes, facts, facts.
That's
Yep,
funny.
yep.
Um, let's talk about another track. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about Office Hours with 50 Cent because I know a lot of people were surprised about that. And he only got two features on his whole album, 11 tracks, and it's
Yeah.
for a reason, right?
Yeah. 50 actually posted on his IG because 50 be trolling a lot of people. 50 do a lot of joking, coming at people, whatnot. But when 50 posted it, it was like, oh, okay, we I kind of had an idea that they beef wasn't what it used to be. It kind of simmered a little bit, but I didn't know it got to the point where they were actually making music together. So when I saw that, 50 was gonna be on the track on the Nas new album, I was like, okay, I'm anticipating. I gotta hear what they come up with. You know what I mean? And the end result, it was dope. It was a dope track. You know what I mean? 50 called a little flack because it wasn't as his bars wasn't as long as maybe people expected, so to speak. You know what I mean? And his bars, for to me personally, was okay. It wasn't 50's best work. You know what I mean? But it wasn't whack neither. You know what I mean? So you know, I'm more or less okay, glad that they was able to get together and create something, and be on good terms versus, you know, that's more of a win versus, the song being the most phenomenal song, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I rock with it. I rock with it.
Definitely, I rock with it too. And that little beef that they had was over something so silly.
Yeah.
So 50, as everybody know, Nas is the one that pushed 50 out there in the first place. That's the only reason why we know about 50 Cent is because of a Nas, period.
Yeah.
And when he did that, 50 Cent was supposed to do a song with Jennifer Lopez at the time,
Mm.
and she felt like Nas would be a better fit on the song. And so 50 was mad. So people took it and ran with like, oh, he mad because Jennifer Lopez pushed him to the side to get Nas on this track. I'm gonna be all right. Mind you, this was all the way in 2011, but 50, came clean. He was like, I was
Yeah.
never mad at Nas. I just
Yeah.
mad that he didn't call me and tell me, hey, I'm gonna do the song with J Lo instead. That's what he was mad about because they was
Um,
friends.
yeah, yeah. Oh wow. Okay. See, when you find out stuff later on, it'd be like that's what it was over with. Over, you know what I'm saying? It'd be petty. Wow. But music then was so competitive when it comes to, who worked with who. And I'm sure at that point, I mean, it was at that point, it wasn't Nas' fault. You know what I mean? It was like, somebody else, third party, coming to play and it caused issue between these two people. So that's like, but here we are, 2023. All we have is today, and the latest we have from them two is a collaboration, which is a dope song. You know what I mean? Nas obviously stepped up. Every song Nas pretty much did his thing. You know what I mean? I can't really point to any joints on here that really let me down in any way.
No,
So
I can't either. Matter of fact, the other feature, like I said, he had was on 21 Savage, and I know people was like, why he do a song with 21 Savage? And the guy just said he was irrelevant and stuff like that, which he did say that,
Yeah.
but he
Mhm.
tried to pretend like the media twisted his words. And long
Which we all
story,
heard, literally heard the words he said. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. Everybody heard you on Clubhouse, dude. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now that record, now my initial reaction to that record was, oh, okay, it's cool. I'm glad that, and it was such a quick turnaround versus the controversy. It was almost like a week later they had the song out. It was like, because 21 Savage caught so much heat for his words, his criticism. It's like, how could you come at, you can't, you can come at certain rappers, but there's certain rappers you just don't come at in any form. You know what I mean? So it was like, how you come at Nas and what's your, put your record up versus Nas record. You know what I'm saying? Put your career up versus Nas career. How could somebody like you say something like that about a legend like Nas? So for Nas to turn around and say, okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get together and we actually going to debunk what it is that your point of view about my relevancy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a song together. So I mean, that was the best move to make as far as, you know what I'm saying, right? Creating music together versus, you know what I mean, beefing and, having some type of, animosity towards somebody which you ain't gonna see or you ain't gonna do nothing about when you see them. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good collaboration. Now the song itself, I get that song about, if we doing a scale on 1 to 10, I get that song about a 6.5, 7 for me personally, because I'm different when it comes to the vibes that it is that I rock with music, so to speak. That don't make me a know-it-all. It don't make me a kind of. That don't make me the professor of music. No, it's just like that's how I was feeling it. You know what I mean?
definitely, I felt that and everything, which
Mhm.
is why I embraced Nas's a courageous attitude toward it, because he's been from that era of beefing, you know what I'm saying? Before there was social media, and he's
Yeah,
seen his comrades get gunned down violently over some miswords, miscommunications that was said, you know what I'm saying? So that's why
yeah,
music is very powerful. So he decided to take that negative energy and turn it into positive energy and say, you know what? Let me school you. Let me school
hmm
you on a couple of things. We're not going to go back and forth. We're going to take this as an opportunity for you to gain some new fans and
yeah,
for me to continue to gain new fans in my quote unquote relevant time.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I like
Exactly.
that.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, he just, like Nas won his first Grammy a couple years ago from, dealing with the Hit Boy, you know what I mean, a collaboration, you know what I mean? So it's like he's obviously relevant. You don't win a Grammy unless you hella relevant, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
Chris Brown and Robert Glasper kind of had this same issue not too long ago when it comes to Robert Glasper winning Grammy in the R&B category, I believe, and Chris Brown, like, who the hell is Robert Glasper? Who knows him? You know what I mean? And Chris Brown caught a lot of flack for that, because it's like, if you really into R&B music, into to the music, you know what I'm saying? You know Robert Glasper. You know what I mean? He worked with everybody. You know what I mean? So it's not about, you know what I'm saying, right, your name, so to speak. It's not about how popular you are. It's about your work at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I can
Exactly.
appreciate I can appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the collaboration. I'm actually a fan of 21 Savage, to be honest with you. And most people are surprised that I am, because, because of the music I make and kind of how the vibes that I'm on, so to speak. But I'm about I'm about a vibe. If your vibe is dope, then I'm rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm huge into Currency. Currency is one of my favorite rappers too. He's like, he makes music that's based on the vibe. You know what I mean? As far as right now, I mean, Nas is still in my top three rappers of all time. You know what I mean, right? But to speak on vibes, Kendrick Lamar is like been my favorite rapper the last decade. You know what I mean? Because it's the vibes, it's the storytelling, it's the construction of albums, of how, you're putting a story together for your whole album. You know what I mean? So and for Nas to continue to be talked about in this realm, you know what I mean? Magic 2 is definitely a project that I think that, out of all the collaborations between him and Hit Boy, I think King Disease 3 was the pinnacle. It was very much like, that's that's the one, you know what I mean? But this one here is giving all of them a run for their money.
Yeah, most definitely is giving a run for their money. Nas is extremely intelligent when it comes to the distribution of his music. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's a Nas fan if you grew up with him in the '90s. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he
that's for
never would
sure.
go out of style. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean to be, just going into his 50th year, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, where can he go from here? It's like as a rapper and an artist, you know, you don't really have to retire. Only in hip hop they give you that, okay, it's time to hang it up. It's a retirement tag. And other genres they don't have that. But by, Nas continuing to age like wine, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, what I'm interested to see what will be his next moves as far as in the music game. Like he's obviously killing it in other forms of entertainment. You know what I mean? He's definitely doing his thing from there. You know what I mean? But it all boils down to what it is that we all know you for, and that's the music. You know what I mean? So, like I was saying earlier, I got to a point with the Hit Boy collaborations where I was like, okay, all of it is dope. Okay, what's next, so to speak? I'm at that point now, kind of like, okay, let's see what he do now, because after 5 projects with a producer, people tend to say, okay, we take that, we accept that, that's dope. You know what I mean? We can't hate on it. You know what I mean? Okay, so what's coming up next, so to speak? But I guess it's best not to just try to go forward now because we just got some a week ago. So let me just take a couple steps back and just say I appreciate Magic 2 for being such a dope record. You know what I mean? It's like I really can't hate on it too much. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. And just to, quote unquote, wrap it up so people can go out and listen for themselves, One Mic, One Gun was like a play on words because Nas just used that 21 Savage for the right reasons. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
this is just a great album overall, and it is definitely something worth looking forward to. Because he even said in Abracadabra, like by the time you hear this, we already on to the next two. And I'm like, I already know, like you guys are
yeah.
creating like in your sleep. You know what I'm saying?
And with a producer like Hit Boy, by me being a producer as well, I mean, he's so versatile to where it's like I've listened to each song on the album I listened to, I was like, okay, he hit this style. Then he go to another track, he hit that style. The song Motion, if it besides Abracadabra, Motion is probably it's like my 1A to 1B. Motion has that classic hip hop drum break type vibe to Motion. You know what I mean? But yet still, it's still Nas sounding so fresh, so new. And Hit Boy is able to create in a way to where it's like you never know what you're gonna get on each song. You know what I mean? It's like it's and that's like rare when it comes to being a singular producer, but yet being able to create in every style, so to speak, at such a high clip. You know what I mean? So just as much as Nas was just like hungry and coming to the forefront with such a renewed energy, Hit Boy with his production is so is so charging, and so it makes you just feel so energetic in a way. You know what I mean? And it's like him and his ability to do that is just as important as Nas being able to do what he do too.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I used to think back in the day that the rappers had to have that one producer that they was really close to and understood the energy of the two. I always thought that anyway. So the fact that Hit Boy came in the middle of Nas's career, you know what I'm saying? That he
Yeah.
can work with somebody so elaborate and electrifying. I'm like, hell yeah, keep doing that for sure, you know?
Yes. 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 So I'm with you for sure on that one. Yeah.
Just one more song I just want to touch on. I don't want to touch on it. I just want to give an honorable mention. What this all really means. That song touched me to my heart because he's always talking about, like I said, his childhood, his second childhood, this, that, and the third. And it just made sense to him now. Like when I was 17 and I was thinking about these hits and I was thinking about these rhymes and I was writing poetry, it all makes sense to me now because it's like this is my life. So the most powerful people in the world are storytellers. And Nas is indeed a storyteller, a great storyteller. Not only does he know how to narrate from his own point of view, but he listens to the mass of people and what they think too, which is why he was able to come back and do a song with 21 Savage.
Got you, got you. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely, you know what I mean? It's like you say, the Nas is very much more than just a rapper. You know what I mean? He's a poet. He's a MC. He's a visionary. You know what I mean? He encompasses so much as far as the music culture that you just can't be pigeonholed and labeled as one thing. You know?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
kudos to all those artists out there that didn't figure it out. Cause I didn't figure out a lot of stuff just by listening to the music. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate you coming on today's show.
Well, it's all good. I mean, we like-minded in many ways, you know what I mean? And we definitely, I think this is something that was worth being able to cover, you know what I mean? Something that, we both felt strong about, you know what I mean? Because it really feels like, you know what I mean? A couple years ago, I felt like Nas was at his apex when it comes to having so much of a history, creating so much to where it's like, okay, wow, he's really showing that you can do this at this point, and he's still doing it at this point. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know what I mean, I'm glad that we was able to have this conversation about it.
Yeah, me too. The ambition is definitely electrifying, period.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. So, this has made me want to, get on my producer gram more, even though I am, what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing. I'm making moves as far as, what I'm saying, right, working with artists, you know what I mean? But this is Nas and Hit Boy is giving me the drive and the energy to continue to get better at my craft and to work with individuals who has the vision to where we could, create something, what I mean, that's monumental. I'm actually got a situation now with my homie Scarborough Brown, to where we have a project that we putting together, kind of like in the King Disease type style, but not style, but we have our own project to where it's like I'm the producer, he's the MC, and we have something that we are trying to a type of sound that we're coming out with when it comes to putting a project out. So you know what I mean? I'm gonna send you the track, you know what I mean? And based on the track, I think you get a feel for understanding what it is we're trying to do.
Yeah, I most definitely look forward to that. I love listening to music because this makes sense to me now because people been sending me their music. So please do
Yeah.
so. Okay.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, you know what I mean? He's a real dope MC. He's been in Chicago rapping for a minute, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
All right. Thank you so much again, like I said, for stopping by. And thank you all for listening today. And please leave a review on Spotify or anywhere you hear Apple Music, Pandora, you know the deal. Wherever you hear music, that's where I am basically.
Mhm.
Bye.
Peace, peace, peace.